So this is the first ever concert conversations. That's right. I'm going to see one of my all-time favorite bands tonight, Bullet for My Valentine. I haven't seen these guys since May of 2013, and that was the only time that I have gotten the opportunity to see them, and it was a phenomenal show. I am so excited for this. They play with Asking Alexandria and While She Sleeps, and now those two bands I'm kind of iffy on. They're a little bit heavy for me. Bullet can be heavy, but not that heavy. Yeah, like I said, I'm running late. I've turned into a lazy piece of shit the past couple weeks to a month. My house is disgusting, and I haven't done much outside of work other than laying around watching Arrow on Netflix and movies. And so I decided to be productive today, lost track of time, and was in the middle of doing a load of laundry, had to cut that short. I'm wearing a pair of wet, hot jeans right now. It's a little bit of a weird sensation, but it's what I got to do. And so let's talk about this concert. Like I said, I'm super excited for this. Songs that I think they're gonna play a lot off of their new album Venom. The songs that I think they're gonna play off of this album would have to be You Want a Battle, Here's a War. That's a given. Venom, I hope they play that song, and I feel like they almost have to. Worthless, that one they have to play. They just released a video about a week ago, so they almost have to play that one too, which that's one of my favorite tracks on the album, so I hope they do. And No Way Out, they have to play that one too. So those are the four that I'm going to say that they're absolutely going to play off of that album. Now, songs from their previous albums that I think they're going to play, Tears Don't Fall, that's a given. Scream, Aim, and Fire, I feel like they're going to do that one. The Last Fight from Fever, Temper Temper, they're going to do that one. The ones I want to hear from Temper Temper, there's not a whole lot of them. Animal would be one, I would say. POW, I really like that song, so that'd be cool if they did that one as well. Scream, Aim, and Fire, the songs that I want them to play off that one. Waking the Demon, they'll definitely play that one. And that is one of my favorite songs by them, so I'm pumped to hear that one once again. Hearts Burst in the Fire, that's one of my favorite songs off that album too. One of my favorite Bullet songs as well. And one that I wish that they'd play, I don't think they're going to, but one that I would be super happy if they did, is Road to Nowhere. It's a track off of the deluxe version of that album. It is... That for sure is one of my favorite Bullet songs. Off of Fever, The Last Fight, Dignity, that's one of my favorite songs off of that one. So that would be cool if they did that one as well. And The Poison, Hit the Floor would be great. Tears Don't Fall, they're going to play. All These Things, that would be a good one. They could potentially play that one. And my last song that would be awesome if they'd play, I don't know if they will or not. I don't remember if they did the first time I saw them. I feel like they didn't because I was disappointed that I didn't hear it. Either that or they did and I was super surprised. I don't remember. It was 2 years ago, but Hand of Blood. That was the one song that I think made them super popular. It was on Need for Speed Most Wanted. That's where I first heard that song. That game had a phenomenal soundtrack, by the way. But yes, that would be so awesome if they would play that song. I don't think they're going to, but yeah, you know. And one thing that I wanted them to do last time, which they didn't do, I don't think they're going to do either this time, but it would be cool, is if they did Tears Don't Fall parts 1 and 2 together. If they just transitioned it from 1 into 2, that would be epic, but I don't think they're going to do that. They didn't do that last time, which was their Temper Temper tour, so I don't think they're going to do it this time either. Riot, that's another one I think they're going to play off of Temper Temper. That's one of their more popular ones from that album. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to talk more about the show. I'm going to talk about the concert. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and expect me to be super sweaty and gross, because if you're not that way after a concert, well, then you haven't done a concert right. So with that, I will leave it at that for now, and I will see you guys after the show. Well, I said I would do it, so here it is. The post-concert of Bullet for My Valentine at the Rave in Milwaukee. Oh, I'm tired. That concert reminded me of a show that I went to here at the Rave back in 2011, I want to say. It's 2010 or 2011. It was my first year of college. It was one of the first concerts I ever went to. One of the first big concerts I ever went to. One of the first ones at the Rave. It was 3 Days Grace, and I went with my buddy Jordan. Jordan Lopez, shout out to you. He was supposed to come tonight. He got preoccupied with other engagements, which is probably the best thing that could have happened for him because he's been having some back problems and he would have died in this concert. He wouldn't have made it. He would have died. It reminds me of that concert because there is a picture that I got from the Rave. They take pictures of all the concerts, and they had a crowd shot. And there was one, and it was me and my buddy Jordan. This was at the 3 Days Grace concert. And we're like in the third or fourth row, and we're like this in the picture because I don't know why, but everybody's got to be like, I got to get as close up front as I can. And if I can't get up there, well, then I'm just going to keep trying throughout the whole fucking concert. And that's the crowd that I got stuck in that show. That's the crowd I got stuck in this show. Like I said, it was in like the fourth or fifth row. And I want to say it was maybe 3/4 of the concert. I was stuck there. Like I was trying to get out. I was trying to move back just so I could enjoy the show, and you couldn't move. People behind you are pushing, trying to get closer. People on the sides are pushing you because they're just getting the same way. They're getting so fucking pissed because everybody's just like, everyone's just trying to get as close as they can, and I just don't get it. Like, after a while, you'd be like, all right, this is where I'm going to be. I'm just going to enjoy the show where I'm at, let everybody else enjoy the show. No, that's that's not the case at all. I got there late, like I said earlier, in my pre-concert video. So I got there. I had to park. Gosh, I probably parked like a 10-minute walk away. I'm still here now in my car giving you this review. And I got my way there, and I got to the door, and then I had to follow the line as back as it went. And the line probably went about around the block, I want to say. But it moved very quickly. I was surprised. I was only in line for about like 15 minutes or so before I was in the building. And by the time I got in, by the time that I got into the Eagles Ballroom, which is where the main shows are, once I got in there, once I got in the crowd, I made it through the last song of the first band, and then they were done. And it was While She Sleeps, like I said before. Instrumentally, they were good, but they're one of those bands that's just like, and everybody goes nuts, and it's a little bit heavy for me. But like I said, instrumentally, they were good. I can give them that from what I heard. And that goes for Asking Alexandria, too. Once the first band was done, what you got to do is, if you want to get close, somewhat close, you gotta move with the crowd. You got to do what the crowd does. And so when fans of the first band, they're trickling back because they're like, I'm done. I came and saw what I wanted to see, although I don't know why. You paid, after handling, my ticket was like around $40. I don't know why you would go just to see a half an hour of the first band and then just leave. But that's what people do. I mean, they got the money for it, why not? So they trickle back, and while they're moving back, you just got to move forward. You just got to work with the crowd. And so I got fairly close for Asking Alexandria. Like I said, they were all right. Instrumentally, the kid, the lead singer, he's probably not a kid. He's probably my age or older, but he looks like he's freaking 17. And he's just like, there again, just when they sang, there were a couple songs where there were lines that they actually sang. There were chorus lines that they sang. There were verses that they sang. And I was like, why can't you do this all the time? You're good singers. People can understand the message you're trying to convey if you sing. But like I said, it's not my crowd. There's a lot of fans of them that were there. And so they enjoyed the show. They had a good time. And so then and now this is where things get just nuts. This is where things start to get nuts. So, I'm waiting. Oh yeah, by the way, I stayed after the show, found an Asking Alexandria pick. Like I said, they were okay, but I got a pick, so, I mean, that's one of the things you gotta do too. After the show's done and everybody's piling out, I mean, you're gonna be waiting to get out because everyone's trying to get out, so why not stay, walk up towards the front because the crowds are all gone, and see if you can find picks, because bands are throwing picks like crazy. Nobody's catching those. I mean, you're lucky if you're catching those. They throw it, and if it lands by you, then you quick pull out your phone, your flashlight, whatever the hell you got, and then you just try to get it as quick as you can. And so, yeah, I found that Asking Alexandria pick after the show. I mean, that's cool. I've never gotten picks before. Usually I can't find them. Or I'm with a group of friends that are like, hey, let's get out of here. And I'm just like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. So we leave. But that was the beauty of it. I went solo tonight, just by myself, and I didn't mind it. The last 2 shows that I went to, I ended up getting split up from my friends anyway, just because I went and I was there for myself. I wanted the best experience for me, so I tried to get as close as I could and just rock out with all the people that are up front and have a good time. And that's what I tried to do for this one. But the thing about the last 2 shows that I went to compared to this one, the last 2 shows that I was at was Yellow Card and 4 Year Strong. They're smaller bands, so they have smaller crowds, and so it's easier to get closer, and people aren't as obnoxious as they are for, like, 3 Days Grace or Bullet for My Valentine, bands that have bigger followings, bigger fan base, bigger crowds, more turnout. So that's the lesson that I learned tonight. Like I said, it was one of the first concerts that I went to. I should have learned then, but I thought, you know what, like, if I just stick through, if I just hold my ground, I do like they say in the freaking lyrics, like, you want a battle, here's a war, and this is a war that can never be won. That's the one line that I was like, this is so true with this. And that's when I was just like, fuck this, like, I'm just going to try to push my way back, and finally I did. But back to the story that I was originally telling. So, after Asking Alexandria was done, and Bullet's roadies are setting up their instruments, testing their mics, their drums, their guitars, all that stuff. That usually takes about like a half an hour or so, at the least 20 minutes. Most of the time it's a half an hour, 45 minutes, somewhere in there. Half an hour, 40 minutes. I'll give it that. And it was around like the 25-minute mark, 25, 30 minutes. And this one guy up front he just started going nuts. And everyone's backing up like, whoa, like, hey, get this guy out of here. Like, we don't want him up here. Even the security guys up front that catch the crowd surfers, like, even they started getting up there like, you gotta get out of here. He was going nuts. I don't know if he was drunk, if he was high, if he was both. I don't know what was going on with him, but so he's getting pushed back. He gets pushed by me. That was the thing about this concert. I was a freaking magnet for everything. I was the magnet for the crowds pushing up on me. I was the magnet for the mosh pits. Like, once I got out of that front, all of a sudden they was just like, hey, Brian's here. Let's form a mosh pit around him. This video, I think I'm going to name this video Taking the Bullet or Surviving the Bullet, something like that, because this was a fight. This concert was a fight. It's definitely going to be a memorable one because of that. It wasn't the best experience because of that, but that being said, I got to see one of my favorite bands, got to see some great songs, which I'm going to get into. I'm going to get into now. I think you got the point of the story. Yeah, so once that guy was getting pushed back, there was like 5 guys behind me that were just like, hey, this is our opportunity, and like pushed forward, and that's how I got to like the 3rd row to start the concert off. So yeah, I was stuck. You get the point. You get the point. I'm probably gonna edit some of this out, but you get the point. Yeah, I got stuck up front. I got stuck in the crowd. I couldn't get out. I was fighting for my life. For newbies out there who don't go to concerts, a whole lot of concerts, haven't been to a concert, if you ever do and you ever are like, hey, I want to get up front, if you're going to see a big band, I suggest staying towards the middle-ish. You're still close enough where you get a good view, you can still see everything. You're with the people that are just like, hey, I'm here for the show, I want to chill. That's usually where the mosh pits form, though, so be careful with that if you're going to a metal show. But that's where I suggest to stay. If you get stuck in a situation like me, where you're stuck up front, you're stuck in the crowd, you're just like, I'm here, I might as well just try to stay here, fight my ground. Matt Tuck, I probably could have touched that guy's face. I was like in the 2nd row. after a while, just trying to fight, just trying to fight to breathe. And that's the problem when you're stuck up there and the crowd behind you. But my technique for that, I didn't have a problem breathing at all. My technique for that is the bear technique. But before I get into the bear technique, so the lights go down, they start their pre-music. Most bands do. They have like a intro song that's playing as they're walking up on stage. Everybody's cheering. That's when you get ready. You brace yourself. You put your arms up. You put your arms up like this. You put both arms up like this, because that's how you're going to be able to breathe. Because once they start, that's when people start pushing forward. That's when they want to get as close as they can. Don't care about anybody in front of them. So you gotta plant your feet. You gotta put your arms up like this. And then once the crowds come, you just gotta brace yourself. And in surviving, I call it the bear technique, because it's just like they tell you for a grizzly bear, a black bear. You gotta make yourself as big as you can to survive. You gotta show them that you're the bigger man. You gotta make yourself big. You gotta spread your arms out. You keep that bracing stance. You just got to spread out like this, and you just got to make yourself big. You got to keep your feet planted, keep your knees, don't lock your knees. You just got to brace yourself, and you got to fight, because when I'm telling you, think of like police riots and crowds like that. It's exactly the same as a metal show. Any rock show that I've been to like that. So that's my advice to you on that. Now let's get into the music. I've been saying this the last 14 minutes, so let's get into it. I'm going to tell you the songs that I remember. I'm going to tell you the songs that I was surprised that they played. And I'm going to tell you the songs that I was surprised that they played in what particular order. The ones that, like I said, the ones that I remember. Because half the time I felt like I was just fighting to breathe, fighting to keep my place, fighting to just... I was getting pissed. That's when I rage quit, and I was like, pardon my language, but I was like, fuck this. I'm going to try to get to the middle. Like I said, it was like halfway through the concert. But anyway, so the opening song was No Way Out. I thought it was going to be that way, because I thought it was going to be exactly like the CD starts. They have like an intro, and then they go into that song, and that was great. Then they went into Skin, which is the 7th song on the new album. I was like, all right, I'm into it. Then they played Four Words to Choke Upon. I was like, whoa, going way back old school. Okay. So they played that song. They did Last Fight like I thought they would. They did another, what was the other song from that album that they did? Alone. They played Alone from that album. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm digging this. So they did those. They didn't do any from Temper Temper, I don't think, which surprised me a little bit. But at the same time, like, I'm not surprised, because honestly, I think that's their worst album. That was their last album before the new one. I think it's their worst one, and I think they feel that way too. So they didn't play any from that one. They did Scream, Aim, and Fire like I knew they would. They played a few from that album. They played a few from that one. They played a lot from their new one. They did Worthless. That was probably, that song and the last song were probably my favorite ones that they did. So they did that one. And then they did let's talk about their last 2 songs, because those are the ones that I remember the most, because that was when I was out of the crowd. I was like, all right, I'm just going to enjoy myself. I made it out, maybe, I think it was like 2 songs before the last 2. So the last like 4 songs, I was out of the front. I was in the crowd. I was like, okay. I don't remember which ones came before the last 2. The last 2 songs. So the last one that you think, all right, they're done. Hand of Blood. I was like, yes! Oh, that's the song that made them. That song is so, it's a mix, it's the perfect mix of their heavy and like their singing. It's got kick-ass guitar solos. Yeah, that song freaking rocks. They played Venom. That was the other one that they played. That was the one that I was like, that was one of the ones that I really wanted to see. So yeah, they played Hand of Blood. Awesome. Yes, they played Venom. I was talking about Venom. That was the part where I was still up front, and that was my stupid mistake. I should have I should have made my way back then, because the crowds were still kind of pushing, but not as hard. But I was like, fuck this. Like, I came to enjoy the show. I'm sick of fighting. I'm going to enjoy at least one or two songs. And that was one that I really wanted to hear. That is my favorite song off the new album. I really resonate with that song. I was going through a lot in my life during that time, and it was very relatable. And so I wanted to enjoy that song. So that was my mistake. But anyway, so yeah, the last two songs, they played Hand of Blood. I was like, yes. And then they went off stage and everybody's chanting. Like, the whole room is chanting. Like, one more song. They come back out. And then they do Waking the Demon. That was my second favorite song that they played, because I was out of the front. I was in the middle. I was going nuts because I was like, finally, a song that I can enjoy and dance to and have a great time. Oh, yes, they played that song. And then they did their, yeah, let's give it up for the other bands that play. Let's give it up for us. And then they're like, and what do you think? We might have time for one more song. You guys want to hear one more song? And the whole crowd goes nuts, and that's when they play Tears Don't Fall. That's how you close a concert. Yes. So, recap, overall thoughts. The first two bands, not my cup of tea. This show, it wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be, just because of all the circumstances that I got stuck in. But, that being said, also, my big toenail, I haven't checked it yet. I'm pretty sure that got ripped off once Bullet started. There was a point where I was like, oh, that hurt, and that feels like my nail. It feels like it's hanging on there. I feel like my sock's getting a little wet, probably bleeding. And then about, I want to say, after the first fourth of Bullet stuff, crowd got pushed again. I got shoved forward, and I was like, oh, and there goes the nail. And I haven't checked it yet. I'll probably check that at home. Pretty sure at least a big chunk of it's gone, if not half of it or all of it. But, yeah, so overall, it wasn't as enjoyable just because of the situations that I was stuck in. I enjoyed the songs that I got to listen to, and I enjoyed the songs that I got to hear. Bullet's great live. The first couple songs, I mean, Matt Tuck, he's the lead singer. He wasn't going fully into it. I feel like he was just trying to save his voice, because he does a lot of like hard, rough lyrics mixed in with his singing. I feel like he just wanted to save his voice. After a while, he started to get into it. That's when it started to get really enjoyable. And like I said, I enjoyed the songs that I remember, the songs that I got to at least get something out of it. And so yeah, that's my take on that. They're playing again at Rockfest in Cadott on July. They haven't announced what day they are. Rockfest is July 14th through the 16th. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And me and my buddy Jordan, we were talking about going to that because it's got a great lineup. They're going to be there. And that's probably a show that I'm going to be able to enjoy them more. It's in a big field with a stage. You bring your lawn chair. You sit out there. Depending on how early you get there, or if you're camping out over the weekend, you just leave your chair. And I feel like I'm going to, like I said, I feel like I'm going to enjoy that show more. The last thing I want to talk about this concert is, like I said, you go to a concert, you stay after, because everybody's trying to get out. You go towards the front, you see if you can find guitar picks, see if you can find a drumstick. You probably won't. Those are bigger. Guitar picks are smaller. People, once they hit the ground, you got people that are looking for them, or you got people that are just like, fuck it, I just want to get out of here. They don't care. They leave. Like I said, that's how I found this Asking Alexandria pick. And so I probably stayed up there about 15 minutes looking for picks around the front. And I was like, you know what? I found the one. It's not the band that I wanted, but you know what? I'm just going to go. So I'm walking slowly. I'm trying to get my phone out because Jordan's like, keep me updated. So I was like, I'm just going to text him, let him know how it went. So I'm looking down. I'm trying to get my phone. I'm walking really slow. And that catches my eye. And at the same moment, it caught some other girl's eye too. I don't even know what she looked like or whatever. these kind of shows, like I said before, it's every man for themselves. You just got to do what you got to do. I saw it, boom, I was there. I grabbed it. I got a bullet pick. Oh my gosh. So like I said, I've never gotten a pick before. And then I go to a show from one of my all-time favorite bands. It's not the best experience just because I'm just fighting. I'm just fighting to survive, and I'm fighting to watch the show. This was the perfect payoff. This made it worth it. This and, like I said, the songs that I got to listen to, the songs I got to enjoy. And the cool thing about it is it's signed on the back. I'm pretty sure that this is... Oh, and I'm going to drop the pick like I did before. That's what I was looking for before when I dropped it. But it's signed. I think this might be Matt Tuck. I'm not quite sure. Either that or it's probably the bassist. Because it was towards the right side, stage right, if you know you're staging at all. And it was towards the doors as I was walking out. So unless it was one that Matt tucked through, I feel, like I said, I feel like it's there's definitely an M in it. I think it's a J and an M. So it's probably the bassist. But anyway, I don't care. It's a bullet pick, and that's what I wanted. That's all that I wanted. So, my iPod's telling me I got a low battery. This is going on 25 minutes long already. You're probably not going to stick around through the whole thing, but if you did, thanks. I really appreciate it. I plan to do more of these concert conversations. That's what I'm going to call these videos. I plan to do more concert conversations in the future. The closest show that I can think of right now is Disturbed. I really want to see them. They're going to be at the Rave on May 18th. It's on a Wednesday. That one I don't have to ask off work for because I don't have to work nights at the station. This one I did. I was so lucky that I got off. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I came to the show. I'm glad that I got to get out of it what I did. Like I said, it's one of my favorite bands. I'm just glad that I got to see them. Because, like I said, this is my second time seeing them. I only saw them once before today. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity. And it wasn't the experience I wanted it to be, but it was enough to hold me over, I think, until I see them this summer again at Rockfest. Me and Jordan, we might be going all 3 days. And if that's the case, I want to do a lot of videos for that. I want to do a lot of concert updates, just day updates, random videos throughout the day. There's probably going to be alcohol involved. So it's going to be a fun time. But my windows are steaming up. I'm in a sketchy area. This is going on a half an hour already. And it's time to go home because I got to work in the morning. Ugh, I don't want to think about that. And I haven't eaten yet. I ate this morning. That's the last time I ate today. And I probably sweated off like 20 pounds worth of sweat. I have to shower too because I literally gave myself a sweat shower, sweat so much because I was just, yeah. But not like you want to know that. You can see how gross I am. But anyway, that's it for this. That's the bullet recap. I took the bullet. I survived. Until next time.